Do you remember the Summer Game Fest when the most exciting announcement was Neil Druckmann showing concept art?
What started out as a multiplayer mode has evolved due to the team's ambition. They really wanted to do something beyond what we've ever done before at Naughty Dog. And we felt the way to do it justice is to make it a standalone title. Ambition has grown, and we're not quite ready to fully unveil it, but we're ready to lift the curtain a little bit and just give you like an update of where we're at.
Whoa!
This game is big.
Okay.
It's as big as any of our single-player games that we've done, and in some ways bigger. It's got a story. The way we're telling that story is very unique to this game. It's got a brand new cast of characters. It takes place in another place, another part of the United States.
It's like a city might be somewhat familiar.
It's really cool.
I think it's safe to say, Mr. Neil Druckmann, you have our attention. Okay, The Last of Us world is so enriching and immersive and delightful, and anything that ends with ing or full and depressing, you know what I mean? For real though, these developers have been putting their heart and soul into this multiplayer. Let's talk about San Francisco, The Last of Us world, and everything that we can absolutely confirm is in the game. I don't want to be no fake YouTuber, hyping you guys up, blue balling you guys for no reason. You know what I mean? This is some legit information I am proposing to you guys today. So, San Francisco tells us a lot. Not everything, but a lot. This second concept art that they released in January, the yacht crashed into the Embarcadero district, and that's the developers telling us, there was a time when the 2013 people roamed the streets, but now there's new dilapidated structures to explore. And when he said that this game is the size of typically any other Last of Us game, just wow, it's gonna look stunning. I'm assuming you could just walk around this entire upper front area, like kind of open world. And there's a lot of moments in part 2 looking back that are loosely similar to San Francisco architecture. I'm positive that these developers are really trying to capture the aesthetic of part 1 and part 2's gloominess and tone of everything is just dilapidated and nature completely takes over. And over the course of several different levels and missions, the map might even change. I mean, your base might look different, explosions and weather, just stuff that is very subtle. Sure, when the outbreak was going down, the military might have bombed the downtown area. Possible we could see remnants of a QZ area where federal soldiers once fought, but I don't know. If this takes place in 2039, I believe the current story's at, we probably won't see any alive soldiers to fight. I don't know, maybe that would be cool. I'd really appreciate if we could drive or have a sequence with a vehicle, perhaps a helicopter. Maybe I'm asking for too much there, but a helicopter sequence, or at least a crash helicopter, or anything to do with the helicopter in The Last of Us again would just be amazing. I just think of the Naughty Dog, Lost Legacy helicopter sequence, and that is what, oh my gosh, I was at a loss for words when I was playing that. I was just true magnum opus right here. It's really freaking awesome, and I hope we get some kind of sequence with a vehicle in the multiplayer on an expedition or such. Who knows, but I pray. Nevertheless, I would still expect an epic experience with AI. You can see infected in one of the concept arts. That's pretty much given, but hoping for an AI faction. If you don't mind, I'm about to show you guys some more leaks. I showed some leaks in my previous factions video, but this came with part 2's multiplayer game files for a handheld TV. I don't know if that shows you your screen, or you talk to people like a walkie-talkie. They had a collar for dogs. They had a listening mode device like the last faction's multiplayer. They even showed a map for the Battle Royale, which that goes stupid. That's actually so cool. So it was supposed to be kind of open world originally. And here are some level 1 through 3 armors, and it's just very interesting. Ellie displays them amazingly. It's early stage of development, but she does look like a blueberry, you know what I mean? But this second tier armor looks very nice. I bet we could expect to see armor like this in factions multiplayer. I mean, without a doubt, we can expect to see some cool armor. Sure, there's gonna be many cosmetic, variations that you can purchase that won't add any, betterness to your character, but just make them look slightly cooler. I don't typically mind that. I myself will probably spend a handful of my hard-earned dollars on, you know, all the cool little stuff, you know, that's not so necessary but you can get. But I just don't want to see, you know, bright neon gun camos. That just doesn't fit the world. And you know, they have that in like Uncharted multiplayer. I just wouldn't want to see that generally. And Naughty Dog will absolutely drop the bag if they add some dumbass weapons like, you know, the TAC shotgun or Junkrat gun, at least as like a DLC, like purchasable weapon. Just don't do that shit, Naughty Dog. Don't even think about doing that shit. Have the player earn, you know, their items and upgrades and weapons as they progress on expeditions. That would just be so much cooler, like in the story, you know? Also, a little bit of a hot take, but I believe that on these new game mode of expeditions, you shouldn't be able to open up, you know, a shop by pressing D-pad and buying ammo. I think you should be given ammo by the game as you search through houses and people or whatever. Collect gears on your journey and, you know, upgrade those weapons with various attachments and switches and, you know, little blicky blicks and whatnot, and I think that would just be mwah, chef's kiss. This would definitely be a solid 50% of what keeps most of the players playing. Like, oh yeah, no, this is a cool gun, but it could get even cooler attachments. I'm gonna keep playing it, just without a doubt. It also kind of goes for satchels and straps. You can find them on, you know, dead corpses, like maybe armor, and so many other things like supplements. I can't even think off the top of my head. You know, I make these videos off the top of my head, which in retrospect probably isn't the healthiest thing, but anyway, who cares? The original Factions weapon lineup was just perfect. Perfect. It was perfect. And, you know, I feel like it could be perfecter. Like, they didn't have bricks and bottles, they didn't have, you know, the axe. They had the machete and the 2x4, but, you know, they didn't have the baseball bat or the hammer from part 2. Maybe they'll add some like new weapon, like a mallet or a crowbar. You know, this is gonna be a new world, a fresh breath of air. It's gonna feel good.
They've been working on it for the past 2 years, and it's being headed by Vinith Agarwal, Anthony Newman, and Joe Pantnati, all veterans of Uncharted and Last of Us.
Now, if you go on the internet and search up these Naughty Dog employees, they seem like they are excited for this new project. They're tweeting about it very rarely. But if you really research a little more onto some other websites, you know, job related, you can see that new and old designers have been getting to work. Look how that one guy says, you know, he's working on this online project with AI. He practically just exposed them. Honestly, maybe I should, like, apply to work at Naughty Dog. That seems like a dream job, low-key. I know they, like, enslave themselves. But, hey, look at the lovely suburb area in the background. I would assume that they'll also recreate, you know, the suburbs of San Francisco. I bet they'll get the BART train station all down and make it super spooky. I talked about that in another video, so I'm not going to go too far into that. But another thing that's a small note is the letter from Seth. He's from San Francisco. You know, Seth the bigot, everybody's least favorite character from part 2. Well, that's debatable, but yeah, he doesn't really say anything about San Francisco other than that, like, his family got, like, rolled and smoked. So yeah, whatever, get the fuck out of here. Anyway, that just about wraps up this video. I hope there's no more, you know, just surprise leaks that pop up. Oops, surprise leak that just popped up. You can read those for yourself, but yeah, no, that is the end of the video. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. I just can't wait for this next title's release. It's gonna be so epic. I can't wait to press triangle and down people and just, like, execute them in the most brutal ways and just see their brains flying everywhere. Y'all have a great rest of your day. Like this video if you really, really liked it, but that's all. Goodbye. One last thing. I really hope they add the haptics that they had in the Last of Us remake. Okay, that's all. Goodbye. Have a great day.